the clock resets. Last year's lessons still fresh on the breath. Drums in my chest, postponing for the climb. We rise together, this year is mine.
Calendar flip, now the vision clear. Blueprint sketch, dreams engineer, sweat equity, build skyscrapers from dust. In the mirror, I see someone I trust. Crowds in the streets, rhythm under the feet. Unity's the anthem, the drums heartbeat.
Step up, step out, leave the fear behind.
Hands to the sky, feel the stars align.
One life, one shot, this the moment we grind.
Forward we march, greatness redefined. This year we rise, we glow. This year, unstoppable flow. This year, watch the gardens grow. We win, we build, let the whole world know. This year we rise, we glow. This year, unstoppable flow. This year, watch the gardens grow. We win, we build, let the whole world know.
Boom, boom, clap, the rhythm don't stop. Boom, boom, clap, climbing to the top. Boom, boom, clap, we sow, we reap. Boom, boom, clap, now the harvest the year. Power in the purpose, wealth in the giving. We flip the script, redefine living. Every brick laid lifts the next soul higher. Kindness ignites, spreads like wildfire. Boardrooms buzz, ideas take flight. Innovation sparks under city lights. No, 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 no. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Peace, love, and beautiful energy to everyone. We're excited to have you here on the Mindset Mondays. Go ahead and put where you're from in the chat. Go ahead and put where you're from in the chat. Today will be a different version of the Mindset Monday, something that we'll be stepping into with more of intention, I would say. And the first thing I want to bring up is your circle, the people you are surrounded by. So let's go ahead and put my camera on so we can see. And let's get active. So once again, I'm thinking the person, the people that you are around, right, has a control over your life. And I want to break it down. So first and foremost, my name is Sean Crumay. I'm the one that helps you build your systems internally and externally to help you become more effective in less time. We're talking about stepping into your most attractive characters so that opportunities can come to you easily, effortlessly. When you talk about stepping into your most attractive character, I want you to think about it this way. You operating at your highest level. You operating with love. Love is the highest frequency that you can operate on, but sometimes you're going to need the reinforcement. You're going to need the systems. You're going to need the structure, the back end to keep you on track because it's easy for us to fall off. And whatever is easy not to do, it's also easy to do. So we understand that if it's easy to do, it's also easy not to do. If you would love to go to the gym, it's easy to go to the gym. It's easy to work out. You don't even need gym equipment to work out, but it's also easy not to do. All right. It's easy to eat healthy, but you can look at it from a way and say it's not easy. So whatever is easy to do is also easy not to do. And if it's sometimes not easy to do it, a lot of times it could be easy to do. Now, one of the things that's not easy to do, but it's also easy to do is the circle that you are standing in. Your circumstances are based upon the circle in which you stand in. Makes sense? Let me know before I move forward. Just want to make sure if it makes sense. Remember, this is not one of those classes. You don't have to be on with your camera. You don't even have to participate. But I do love if you do participate because that's my mode of communication. It's not to talk at you, it's to talk with you. That's usually my mode of operation. I'm here to build with you and not, assert my authority over you as if I know more than you. It's more like these are the things that I found that works in principles and it works in you as a universal principle in layers all across different spectrums. So with that being said, if we find these tools, if we find these principles and they work for me, they work for this person, work for that person, it can work for you. And the beauty of doing that is that we raise humanity's frequency. We have more people operating with love. We have more people being their true authentic selves. And that's what we love. That's what we care about. So that's what this is about. So first and foremost, what makes sense in the chat, just so I know that you are following along. If you understand that the people that are around you shape how you experience the world. For example, when you might have been young, if you were young at a certain point of time where you were dependent on parents or elders or someone else that wasn't you, right? You were dependent, and your dependent probably gave you identities or they probably built you up. Whatever it may be, you've benefited or you were at the detriment of whomever was in your circle. Make sense? Okay, cool. So picking your peer group, picking the people that would mesh with you. There's a rule for this. One of the rules is that you want to work with people who are already doing what it is that you want to do, or who are like you, aspiring to do that thing. Now, I want to get into the Nolan Wells case today. Has anyone heard about the Nolan Wells case? Or if you have, put a one in the chat. If you have not, put a zero in the chat. If you have, put a one in the chat. If you have not, put a zero in the chat. So we're prefacing this conversation by just getting us familiar with why you choosing your peer group is super paramount to your success. Remember how we would joke about you hang around five broke people, you become the six. If you hang around six rich people, you become the seven. Yeah, it may seem like a joke on the surface because we're having fun with it, but in reality, the truth is that you are the sum of the people that's around you. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Make sense? Okay. So Nolan Wells, the situation with Nolan Wells, where it's still under investigation. So um, there's no, I would say, final decision on what happened. But apparently, this young individual went out with his friends in the middle of the ocean. They went to an island, and Horn Island, I believe the island is called, and he comes back missing, right? He's nowhere to be found. Next day, his body washes up to the shore. Now, some people think that there's foul play. Some people think that he drowned. Kids do things, right? We all look to impress each other in ways when we're children, right? Hey, I could do a backflip off the boat, or hey, I can do X, Y, and Z. Who knows? Or whatever the case may be. What happened with him is that he said, I'm going to go to another boat and meet you guys back on shore, which according to the people that participate in this is a common thing where you might ride out into the ocean, might get onto the island, and you might leave with another group. Why? Because most people are friends or whatever in that particular case. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to share some clips from this particular case that is unfolding. People like Don Lemon, I've seen some things with Don Lemon, and I wanted to get your thoughts and I want to get your understanding of um, what actually stood out to you. But the way that I want to do this is tied in with the lesson, right? So today we want to talk about choosing your peer group. Now, a lot of times we're not super clear on these choices, and I give you a reason. I give you a reason why. Sometimes we're born with these people in our family, right? So sometimes you might have what we call agents in your family. Anyone who's an agent to the matrix in your family might be someone that is looking to stop your growth. They may not do it intentionally. They may just be looking to keep you safe, but the reality of it is they're in your way. Put a one in the chat if you have some of those people like that. You have the people financially who's in your way. People who ask you for money, who take from you, but never actually pour back into you. So they're always asking for money. They're always asking for favors. They're always asking for stuff. But then if you ask them for something, they act like as if you committed a crime. Or if you ask them back for the money that they borrowed, they might now act like you are hounding them when in reality, they were hounding you for the money in the first place. So if you have this understanding, go ahead and let me know. Put a one in the chat if you have this. Okay. Because without understanding this baseline, we might get lost and get confused. All I want to do is be super authentic and transparent with us. I just want us to raise our frequency, operate with a little bit more of love, and have a happy I would say overall well-being. That's really the goal here, right? Whether it's creating multiple streams of income, because we all need money, or whether it's creating the ideas in your mind that allow you to operate in this world efficiently. So you understand that this world is a matrix. You have to know the rules in how to play the game in this matrix. So one of the rules in how to play this game in this matrix is choosing your peer group. Your circumstances are based around the people or the circle that you're stand amongst. If your family is rich at birth, you were born into a rich family, you'll have a different set of circumstances from someone who was born in poverty. All of that's super clear, right? I think we're all clear on that. So it's so easy to see these things. The reason why I make it so plain and simple, easy to follow along and see is because we want this to make sense. So that way we can internalize it and we can use it as a tool for growth. So with that being said, right, we understand that our circumstances are based around the circles that we're standing in. Now, just because someone is born from your same lineage or from your same pipeline, what we call family, doesn't actually mean that they're family, right? Because family is what you are choosing to be. Family is a choice. Some of us think that it's not, and some of us know that it is. Just because that's your mom, and you know that's just mom, I'm going to be there for mom. No, you're choosing to be there for mom. Okay? You're choosing it. So I want us to be familiar with choice. It's all about choice. Somebody put choice in the chat. Someone put choice in the chat. This is all about choices. So we have the choice to choose which people we want to be around. We have the choice to choose which people we want to invite into our world. Because if you're not choosy about who comes into your world, you are going to be susceptible to someone else's misery. This is why they say misery loves company. It's not that they actually want you to be miserable. Some people do. Some people don't want you to win. And some people want you to fail. That's the reality of it. Some people don't want you to do better than them. They just want you to do good. Just don't do better than me. All of those things exist. I'm not saying they don't. But what I'm saying, whatever you focus on expands. If you know you have certain family members or friends who are acting as agents in the matrix to keep you down, to belittle you, you don't have to associate with those people in that way just because they're family. This can be a mom, this could be a dad, this could be a brother, this could be anyone. But you do want to build family. That's a key thing. Why do you want to have family? Because you're inside of a circle of people who have like-minded thoughts. That is where you want to be with like-minded thoughts. The like-minded thought with the people that are your family is that being that your family, they have a close-knit bond to you mentally. Like, for example, you can get dementia and forget who was your family. So all of it's about what you're choosing to believe and what you're choosing to stand on and stand with and withstand. So if that's the case, you must be conscious that you're making a choice to have the circumstances that you have based upon the circle that you're standing in. Same thing when it comes to your environment. Some of us are warm weather climate people where you thrive in warm weather climates. Some of us stick it out in northern states. If you're in a northern state, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. If you're in a southern state, put a 2 in the chat. If you're in the middle, put a 3 in the chat. So the middle, I like the middle ground, like Virginia, North Carolina, all the middle grounds, because it does offer you very hot climate and then a cool climate. It doesn't get too cold. The North offers way too much cold and a little bit of heat, and then the South offers way too much heat and a little bit of cold. So it depends on how you like to operate. But a lot of times we like to do this. We know that there's something called seasonal depression, but we will stay in that city just because we have family there, just because we have so and so there, just because we grew up there, and it might not be conducive to your level of success because the circle in which you stand in, your environment dictates how you grow because environment, right? Environment, enclosure meant, so environ, right? To grow meant mind. So the environment is meant to help you grow. That's what an environment does. Now, whether you grow the way you want to or you grow the way you don't want to, it's going to be predicated more so on the environment because before you can change the environment will change you. You think about a seed, you place a seed inside the soil, you plant, right? You water, you nurture with sunlight. The seed now has to be continuously nurtured in order for it to transition and transform into a plant. If you take that same seed and you just leave it on the desk and it's not in the right environment, it never becomes a plant. So some of us have this super high potential and we never actually reach the potential because we're with the wrong environment. And I wouldn't even say wrong. We're just with an environment that's not workable for where we want to be. Okay. Some of us who got rich we had to be in poverty in order to push us because there's some people who are already rich, but they just get lazy. They're already rich. Their family already got it. You silver spoon, so you just do what you want to do, but you're lazy. But then there's some of us who have that will, that drive, that motivation because we came from nothing. So if you came from nothing, you have everything you need in order to be successful. So when it comes to choosing your peer group, I want to know from you all, put it in the chat, how do you choose the peer group that you have? And you could also let me know if the peer group that you have right now is not actually serving you. Let me know. Say it's not serving me or it is serving me. Remember, we're live on YouTube and we're live on Zoom. We're not live on Instagram today, but we're live on YouTube and we're live on Zoom. What I want to do is I want to get into these clips with the Nolan Wells case. I want to get into these clips with the Nolan Wells case. And I would love for you, but wait, hold on, let me see. I did see one person said they were familiar, and I did see someone said they weren't. I need to know from everyone because depending on where we're at, we would have to either um, watch a different video or we can, speak to a different part of the video. So I need to know before I click on that video. If you are if you are familiar with the Nolan's Well case, put a 1 in the chat. And if you're not, just put a 0 in the chat. I'm going to read some of the chat. So I'll see, who is that? Clara, you said that you choose your friends based on business interests and based on longevity, so long term. Is that what you meant with that? And Keidra, what's going on, Keidra? You said alignment. Let's see. Let's see. Let me know in the chat, though. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. By the way, just so it's clarity here, because I do see some new faces here, we're live on YouTube and we're also live on Zoom. But this is the Mindset Mondays. If you're here for a different class, you're in the wrong space. This is the Mindset Mondays, just so I'm making it clear, because some of you do have classes and other things that go on at the same time, and you probably just randomly click the email and not paying attention to it, and then you got on. But just making sure we're clear, this is the Mindset Mondays. All right. So we're asking you, what do you value in a friend or friend group? Like, how do you choose your friend groups? What do you base it upon? Let me know in the chat. I see Janice said respect, honesty, and in the same mindset. Now, I want you all to think about how are you actually nurturing that? Right? A lot of us, we have these ideas. We'll go to the families and friends. We say, hey, we got this idea going on. You would like to join? They go, no, that seems like a scam. Or no, that's this. Or no, that's, not for me. So how do you grow? How do you really reach your full potential when there's other people around you that's not willing to join what you are doing, maybe in their own way? You could join forces or just help you in that, elevation. But the idea is that you will not get to where you want to be without having help of people. You have to have a team. You have to have a system. You have to have people. No way you're going to do it by yourself. And even when you think down to the littlest systems, when you put on clothes and you feel confident, that's an external system. You didn't make the clothes. Someone else made the clothes. So if someone else made the clothing and you're putting it on and you're feeling good, whoever made it, you might not know them, but they helped you feel confident. You ain't got your hair done, or you did it yourself, or whatever the case may be. You probably didn't make the products. You probably got the products from somewhere else. You probably sourced the products from somewhere else. So by default, you're utilizing other people to help you level up. Okay, so just making sure we make sense on that. Let's get to this Nolan Wells case and let's equate it to the family. To the friends, your friends group. Okay. Okay, so let's see. If you cannot hear the audio,
Listen, it's called
please let me
connecting,
know in
and
the
it's
chat.
insane. I don't do schedules or
Before
timesheets
I hit the
manually
skip
anymore.
button,
And it works?
let me know in
like
the chat if you can hear
believe
this
it. My
audio.
team puts in their availability, I click auto schedule, and boom, there it goes. No more Excel, no more phone calls, no more group
All
chats.
right, we can hear? Good, good. Cool.
Developments and
Let's get right to
updates,
this and let's hear what
that are coming from. I hate to say both sides here because one's a victim and the other, of whatever happened.
Wait, let me reshare my screen. Hold on.
And then the other is
I'm going to reshare the screen just because it's in the what we call full screen. Yeah, so we're in full screen. I want to put it in full screen. Now we should be good.
People who are defending themselves against whatever
Pay
public
attention to the
opinion
chat
is
too.
out
Pay
there.
attention to the chat.
So here's the deal. Hit the like and the thumbs up. It affects the algorithm. More people become aware of our conversation, our channel, and the journalism that we're doing here in independent media. So first, I want to tell you the breaking news as it relates to, as I said, this exclusive that we had. I'm going to talk about that. And then there's some breaking news coming up from there's a letter that has been sent to the head of the FBI and to the Attorney General in regards to this case. Okay, so like and thumbs up. Let me know where you're streaming from and you're watching us from. Charlotte, hello to you. Hello, Tennessee. Thank you all for joining. Okay, so I want to play this audio, and then we have an exclusive response from the law firm or the team that is representing the Nolan Wells case. This was on Dan Abrams' show. Dan Abrams on Sirius XM. You've been on this show. He's been on this show. He's a friend of the show. So I want you to listen to this and then the response from the legal team representing the Wells-Wansley family. Here it is.
Was Nolan Wells, were there messages missing out of his phone? And the second thing is
Absolutely
photos
not.
have come out. Yeah, they're saying that there were messages missing off of his phone. His phone was wiped. And another thing, there's pictures of, like with the modern day with people with cell phones and social media, there's pictures with adults on that boat. There, and one of the adults they're even saying is like an affluent crowd of judge, businessmen. They were saying there's just kids, but there are adults there.
Right, but here's the thing that
Sure, there's 2,000 people
they're
there.
saying. I don't know who the they is, but go ahead. Tyler, you want to take this one? Or
Yeah,
Ed?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I saw a headline a few weeks back that said Ben Crump and the family is going to allow the Jackson County Sheriff's Office access to Nolan's phone. You know what I never heard? I never heard him follow through with that. I have reason to believe, and I do believe, that they have not cooperated with law enforcement. I do not think that they have turned in Nolan's phone. And I'm willing to bet my reputation on it. I don't think they've cooperated at all. They do not have Nolan's phone. They haven't had access to Nolan's phone.
All right, I'm gonna pause it right there, and then I'm gonna skip ahead. Basically, what's going on here, if you haven't noticed, or if you haven't heard of this at all, there's a theory that came out based upon Nolan Wells' mom. Her name is Christine. She said she believed that someone wiped or someone played around with the phone and it deleted messages. They had a specialist come on and they had him talk about if messages were retraceable or recoverable. And basically, the lady, she said that messages, if they are inside the delete box, they would have to be there for at least 30 days or whatever, and then it will automatically be wiped away from the internet. Even if you didn't sync it to the cloud, or even if you did sync it to the cloud, it has a threshold of where it can be released, or when it can be saved or recovered or whatever. And in this particular case, they're going back and forth. Me, I'm not quite sure exactly how I feel about either side. Once again, there's people who think that this is foul play in here. There's other people who think that this is just an accident that's gone wrong. If you've been following this, I would love to know what you think was going on here based upon the evidence that you heard. Remember, this is all speculation, but the reason why we're having this discussion today is because if you look at it, these individuals were friends. These individuals went out to Horn Island. They went to enjoy themselves. One of the friends come back missing, and no one knows what's going on. Now, we don't know, so we can't justify either side. We can't say this side is wrong, this side is right. Now, there's the race card that's being put into this. There's the race card that's being put into this, but also you know what else is at play that you might not be thinking. A lot of, and this is just me sharing with you. You can go look this up on your own. A lot of stories like this, like the OJ case or cases that take national coverage in this manner, are what we call psyops, right? Or what we call crisis acting. Now, you can go look this up. You can go look it up for yourself. There's roles that you can get hired to be a crisis actor. You can be an actor in a lot of these crises. And when you think about government, it's government for a reason, because govern is to control. Who controls? Mint, mind control, mind control. So there has to be a lot of mind control. There has to be this. It's not me being a conspiracy theorist or anything. I'm just sharing with you. Same thing when there was a psyop with the whole pandemic. Remember when they forced everyone to go get the vaccine, or you will lose your job? And then 3 months later, they bring the mandate down when you don't have to get the vaccine. Imagine all the people who got the vaccine, all the people who moved out of the states, out of that country or whatever, just because they made these mandates, just to turn around to say, no, we were wrong. And it's coming out right now about Dr. Fauci not actually being full transparent when it comes to the vaccine. So I just want you all to realize that you can't make a decision yet based upon things that you're hearing, because none of us know if it's true or not. But I do want you to be aware that these things are all playing around us. So as I skip forward into this, let me go ahead and grab that as we skip forward. I want you to just remember this. None of us know what happened with these individuals yet, but I want to hear your take on it. I want to see what you think. Let me go ahead and start sharing again.
Have concerns about the investigative techniques that are being used, or as they said, not being used. And so they may be unwilling to do it because they, not having trust in the authorities there. However, I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I don't know what that means. Does that mean anything for the family or for for the investigators? I am not sure. It's interesting though, that this grieving mom and the folks who are in the investigators are sort of being pitted against each other. Here's Charles. Charles, I'm not sure. Are you there? Can you hear me, brother?
If you're running your own business, you need.
Okay, that's a perfect segue too. He's getting ready to bring someone up, right? One of the things I want you to think about what he just said, how they're pinning the mom against the other group, basically his friends, right? So they're pitting those two against each other and they're creating a divide. So be aware of these things, because if you also have friends who do these things, they're not really friends. If you have friends who causes divides within your circle or causes divide within what you would love to do in your life, they're not really friends. We can always see the setups. We can always see the dynamics of how these things are going to play out. So I want you to continue to pay attention. He's going to bring up someone now and do a quick little interview with them.
Morning. Thank you for joining us. Listen, I just, these details seem to be coming in this case. You never know when they're going to come. Again, I don't know if you if you heard me reading the letter, and now, this was sent out. What do you make of this?
I mean, it sounds like the family, I think you nailed it, saying that they're willing to work with the authorities, but they don't trust the authorities. And what I heard, the key thing there is they said they're willing to do a joint forensic examination of the phone. It does sound like they have been holding on to the phone. They don't want to give it to the authorities and let them and leave it to their device, to them to do their process without having their own investigator there at the same time. So it sounds like, basically what they're saying is we'll hand over the phone, but we're going to send our forensic investigator too, and they will sit there with your investigators and go through the phone. But it doesn't sound like they're willing to just hand over the phone and let the authorities do whatever they want with it.
Mm-hmm. So, but it seems, in some of these things, Charles, it seems like a long time, right? I mean, you and I were discussing what happened with some of the other high-profile cases and the toxicology reports and all of that, the autopsy reports, all the things. These things don't happen as quickly as people would think in real life, right? It's not like Law and Order where the case is solved and you get all the information within, an hour, 45-minute period.
No, it's definitely not like that. And, we were just talking about it this morning before our morning meeting that it's coming up on, I believe, 7 weeks now. Mm-hmm. Next week will be 7 weeks. And typically it's around that 7 to 8 week period where you start expecting that there could be toxicology results coming out. Not before that, but every department around the country is different. I'm basing that mostly on cases that we've covered here in LA, but I can't speak to how the process works down in Ocean Springs. But around 8 weeks is when you could say, what's going on here. And obviously, people have wanted the autopsy results, the toxicology results. They wanted it, 2 days after Nolan's body was found. It just doesn't work that way. But if this thing drags on to beyond 10 weeks, beyond 12 weeks, people are really going to start asking questions. And the question is going to be, and I understand why the sheriff has not.
Okay, I'll fast forward from here, but just to catch everyone up where they're at, once again, it's like this battle between, was it foul play or was it a drowning, accidental drowning, by himself? Like, did he accidentally drown himself or whatever the case may be? Now, I want you to realize, just pick things up too. When you see these high profile cases, which lawyers or which people do you find them representing? Which people do you find around the representation? I just want you to think about that. If there's a big national case, just give me some national head figures that you might see with cases like this. Who might be there? I'll give you a heads up. Reverend Al Sharpton is going to be around there, right? Now, once again, I'm not telling you this to shape your way of thinking. I'm just saying to you all that we need to follow the context clues in a lot of ways in the circles that we are surrounding ourselves with, whether that's just watching things on TV or whether that's in real life, because these behaviors will leave clues to who people are. So just a quick segue and to get an example from you all, have you ever noticed red flags, but you ignored them, but later on those red flags became a thing that made you wave the white flag? Let me know in the chat, yes or no. Have you ever noticed red flags in someone? You ignored the red flags, and those red flags made you wave the white flag. So the reason why we're having this discussion, because in order for you to get to your next level of greatness, you have to choose and know how to discernment when choosing people around you. But there's a nuance there that you can't account for, and that's, you're never going to know. There's a curveball that can happen with any one of us, right? There's a curveball that can happen with any one of us. These guys, I don't know if these guys are real. I don't know if they're playing characters on here, because remember, the news is television. It's a program, it's a script. So they need to give you something for you to gravitate your minds to. But a lot of times what happens as a result of these, I would say, propaganda and agenda pushes, is that we lose rights. Okay? And that's for a different topic, for a different time, but I'm just, kind of laying that foundation there. So if you've ever experienced a person with red flags, but you ignored it and you waited until it was further down the line, and then you had to wave the white flag, you know that there was telltale signs. Put it in the chat. Give me some signs that you noticed that you may have experienced, but you ignored. Let me just know in the chat. I want to see if there's some sort of consensus, if we all have a similar viewpoint or experience. Like, when I say this to you all, I'll say, if you have expectations on someone else, what might be the result? What might be the common result? And if I was to ask 100 people, I think out of 100 people, it would be 95 people who would say almost the same thing. You'll be disappointed, right? A lot of times people say things like that. Oh, I'll be disappointed. So I want to get a consensus of what we're saying here. So when you do notice the red flag and then you ignored it, what were some of those red flags that you ignored? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Was someone looking? If you want to raise your virtual hand and come up and speak, you can definitely do that. Raise your virtual hand. And
Your hands up and speeding for the basket.
we can bring you up. if you raise your virtual hand. But otherwise, I want to hear in the chat. So you said not feeling safe. I want you to break that down really fast, though. When you say not feeling safe, that was the red flag. The red flag was when you were around those people, you didn't feel safe. Like there was times you were like, oh, man, I don't know if I'm safe here. Was that the case? Or did something just happen over time, just like chip by chip, like just chipping away, and then one time it just blew up and you weren't safe? Maybe they yelled at you, maybe they got aggressive and things like that. But I would love to know. It seems like most of us can't participate fully. So what I'm going to do is make those prompts. You let me know in the chat, and then I'll come back after I finish playing the video and read those things. So right now, if you're just joining and you haven't seen what we were doing, right now we're going over the Nolan Wells case.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete...
Keep us powered. Okay, Reese Colbert is a friend of the show and the host of the Reese Colbert Show. She joins us. Clay Kane, also a friend of the show, journalist, author, and a Sirius XM host. He joins us. We're going to talk about the show that they had. We'll talk about that later. Very successful. I heard it was amazing. And then Tezin Figaro is a founder of Tezin Figaro Communications Group and a Florida Supreme Court certified civil circuit and appellate conflict resolution mediator and trainer. She delivers communication strategies, political consulting, crisis management, and training. She's also a friend of the show. Thank you all for joining us. Tezin, we got this information. I must be honest here. I saw your post on it. I had not gotten the information yet. But Tezin, Congressional Black Caucus urges Attorney General Todd Blanche and the FBI Director Kash Patel to launch federal review of Nolan Wells' death. Talk to me about that.
Absolutely, Don. Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
On. Good morning. So yes, the Congressional Black Caucus is now asking the feds, if you will, the FBI, to get involved, to launch an investigation. They are asking that 7 days, that they give a written response within 7 days. This is major news. I want to also just bring, just for clarity, and you know this, Don, and I think Reese knows as well. I've worked with Attorney Crump as a senior public policy advisor since 2012. So every major case that Attorney Crump has been on, I've been affiliated with in one way or the other. So this is important that we talk about what needs to happen from the legislative side. And I'm a little bit on 10, so pardon me, but when we put it out this morning and folks were in the comments saying, you know, well, we can't trust, you know, this FBI, you know, well, why would we be bringing it to the FBI? Let me just do a little bit of straightening, if you don't mind, Don. Can I just have about 2 minutes just to straighten?
I don't think I can stop you, Tezin. Go ahead.
I'm trying to
give our other panelists time to talk, but go on.
Yes, I will.
Go ahead, Tezin. You got it.
I just want to say this quickly, and all due respect, you know, to Dr. Umar Johnson. I saw his interview the other day on, you know, one of the platforms, The Art of Dialogue, where he was saying, you know, why is Ben Crump not taking this to the feds? You know, why are congressional leaders not taking this to the feds? And then immediately when this was put out, folks in the comments said, well, why are y'all taking it to the feds? So this is where I'm confused, Reese, because some of these content creators also say we don't need to be involved in the political process. So if we're not involved in the political process, which has everything to do with who is in charge of the DOJ, and then you say take it to the feds, and then we take it to the feds, and then y'all in the comments saying, why did y'all take it to the feds? Then y'all say don't vote. I'm just confused. If anybody out there can get us a new Department of Justice by close in a business 5 o'clock, post it. The Congressional Black Caucus, Attorney Ben Crump, is doing everything possible in order to put it on the record. Nobody is saying that we're putting all of our hopes in the DOJ. I'm saying the same thing that I said in the civil documentary on Netflix, which is over 100 cities have changed policy as a result of these cases. People don't want to talk about that, Reese, but that's just a fact. So we have to put it on the record.
Okay, remember what I just said. See how she just mentioned that. Policies will change based upon these psyops, based upon these things, because what happens is we will vote to take rights away. For example, when it comes to military arms, a lot of us may on the surface think that, oh, let's take away the guns. You know, I can say I've been a victim of I've been a victim of gun violence since a child, but I don't want to play the victim stage, right? Because the guns actually are needed. If you take away all the guns, then how do we defend ourselves against tyranny from a government? You understand? So these are the things you must watch and pay attention to because we might get caught up into the emotion of things. This is why they play on race. This is why they play on social class. That's why they play on these things and they divide us so that way we can give up rights. But I'm gonna stop right there and I'll let her continue to speak.
That's what FAMU College of Law taught me, to put it on the record so that if the feds don't do anything, if the state does not do anything, to bring charges against whoever is guilty. Now we have it on the record. And since the feds love doing hearings, let's do a hearing. I'm down. Y'all down? Because I'm down. Let's do a hearing. Let's do an open hearing. And let's bring in everybody, including these so-called attorneys who are now representing these so-called friends. And let's also be careful on keep saying friends. The family has said over and over, these are not the friends of Nolan Wells. I noticed the media keeps saying friends, just friends. I listened in a moment ago, but the family said they are not friends. So let's just put it all on the record. So let's do it wide open. Let's what everybody see. I'm gonna give the other panelists, but I do want to clarify some lies that have been going around on social media that I think is critically important that I know Attorney Crump wants to get out as well.
For just $67, you can generate as many videos as you want and never have to worry about
I'll turn it over.
Okay, just real quickly, and we'll come back to because we were talking about the interviews, but I want the other panelists to get in. Reese, you have been invoked because you said Reese, just as you said, Reese knows. So Reese, what's your response? You know, we got the interviews, we got this from the Congressional Black Caucus, and also this is the letter, if we can put it up, actually the actual letter to the Attorney General and to the head of the FBI. And it says, Dear Attorney General Blanche and Director Patel, more than a month has passed since the tragic disappearance and death of 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells, and his family is still without fundamental answers about what happened to their son. The Congressional Black Caucus stands with the Wells family and joins their call for a full, transparent, independent, and timely investigation into the circumstances surrounding Nolan's disappearance and death. It is unacceptable that so many questions remain unanswered as the Wells family continues to suffer what is already an unimaginable loss. And then they go on and they talk about other things here, which we can get into later. But go ahead, Reese. Good morning to you too.
Oh, good morning, everybody. Tasman, I think she broke it down perfectly. The reality is that we want answers. And the way that you get answers is by getting people to advocate on behalf of the family. It's no different than we would want people to advocate for all these Black people who mysteriously turn up hanging from trees all of a sudden in Mississippi, and we don't get answers. And so when you have people understand the mechanisms with which that we can get answers from the DOJ, from the FBI, and to be clear, there are still career prosecutors, there are still career investigators that have not been politicized. We see prosecutors who have, quit the DOJ because of their discomfort with some of the things. And Don, I think you can attest to that in your case. But I think that what I hear is that there are a lot of people coming from different angles who are putting out information, who are encouraging the release of information. The guys, I don't want to call them boys and I don't want to call them friends. If you were to believe what they're saying, they have a vested interest in the truth coming out. They have a vested interest in the investigation moving forward and their names being cleared if their name should be cleared. And the family does as well. I'm encouraged by any kind of step that moves forward with getting more hands on deck to understand what happened. What we do know is that foul play has not been ruled out because the independent autopsy has not ruled out that something may have happened. It has not definitively declared that it was an accidental drowning or anything like that. We don't have the state's results. And so until we know definitively what happened, if that's possible through an autopsy, these questions have to be asked. And as many people as we can to sound the drum, the better.
Mm-hmm. Clay, good morning, sir.
Good morning. There's something on my mind. If I could just take a minute, like Tina Turner, something on my mind. And I wanted to come on last week, but I couldn't. I just want to say this really quick, and it ties into what y'all are saying. I saw the interview that you did with the alleged friend, Emmanuel. And I was so pissed off. I was so outraged by what he was saying about the state.
Okay, real quick, pause right there. You see how he's responding? Remember that also people who are in a position of power has a position to influence. And this is what I was referring to. They want you to be outraged. They want you to be appalled. They want you to have fire in your heart. They want you to oppose. They want this. Why? Because it's a mode of division. Now, this is just a subpart to the topic today, but I want you to be aware of this. Because if you're not aware of these subtleties, this might be happening in your friend group, or it might have happened to you already. But you have to be aware of how people react. If they're just reacting to things and they act just like everyone else's responses, then they're not truly thinking for themselves. That can cause a problem within your friend group. But anyway, I'll pause right there. And then if you have any questions, I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your statements, whatever it may be. Right when we conclude, we should be done with this one in less than 5 minutes.
Mississippi. Just a couple of key things. One of the things he said was that Emmett Till whistled at Carolyn Bryant. That's a Jim Crow lie. We don't know that. We know that's what she said. Then he went on to argue that because all these black folks are allegedly having children with white people or people who are non-black, that's proof that racism in the Magnolia State has changed or evolved, or it's not like what people think it is from looking on the outside. Strom Thurmond, the racist Dixiecrat, had a child with a black woman. Still racist. You know, Don, I have a black father and a white mother. My white mother's family was racist as hell to the point where they stopped speaking to her altogether. To see that man, I know he's not a politician, I know he's not a celebrity, but to see him come on here and tap dance like that, considering what's happening right now and the justice that the family is asking for is crazy. And then when you look at the data in Mississippi, black folks in Mississippi, I think the median household income is $37,000. For white folks, it's $68,000. All the data is there. So, and furthermore, Benjamin Crump never went to the state and said, this state is racist. He never did that. He didn't scream that. And so as what you were saying before, when people go in certain spaces and asking for justice, you're suddenly screaming racism. So Mr. Emmanuel, if you're listening, brother, I don't know who you're dating. I don't know who you're with that makes you feel more warm and fuzzy inside, but that was and to bring up Emmett Till. Emmett Till, and to babble the shit that Carolyn Bryant said, who lived until her 90s. So it is a racism issue, but it's also a deep ignorance issue. And that's what's frustrating. And then to see those kids, not kids, grown-ass men, go on the former Officer Tatum show, who is like Candace Owens 3.0. I know Candace Owens has done a remix now and did all her rebranding. But Candace Owens, Diamond and Silk, this is just, as Frederick Douglass said about a man named Isaiah Montgomery in Mississippi, others will be dazzled by fame and imitate their bad example. We're not saying that this case is solely about race, but to not see the intersection of it is crazy. And to say because black folks and white folks had some kids, that proves this thing is, we're past all that. As when I was just in Mississippi, there are still Confederate monuments. There are still, they honor places that were former plantations. And whether it's Louisiana, Mississippi, my hometown of Philadelphia, that's the shit that's driving me crazy about this case. And if racism was a non-issue in the state, then all these issues wouldn't be coming to the surface.
What is an AI pen test? Well, this is the...
Okay, let's stop there. And let's round it all out, right? One of the things I want us to get familiar with is the reason why I'm even sharing this is because there's an underlying part to this. Remember how we spoke about you being able to know and decipher which type of friends you should have around you, using your discernment, using your abilities to I would say locate red flags. Now, I don't mean go around looking for people's red flags because we all have some type of red flag. But what I'm saying to you is don't ignore things, talk about it, build with it, because if not, they can have detrimental effects to your life and your livelihood. Now, one of the things that's going unnoticed or going through under the radar here is the fact that even though you are watching a show, the similarities that the show has as far as the friendship has is authority. Anytime you have someone online or on a TV show or on a reputable platform, you're going to be more suggestive to accepting what they say as fact, what they say as true, or what they say as how you should feel. Let me know if it makes sense in the chat. That is almost the same feeling that is given to you by family or friends. So when you're watching things like this, listen how they keep throwing out Emmett Till. Whenever do you really hear anything about Emmett Till? The only time you truly hear anything about Emmett Till is during these type of operations, right? Where you see events like this, or you hear the OJ thing, or whatever the case may be. They'll keep bringing it up because this is all part of the same psyops. Now, I'm not saying that this didn't happen. I'm not saying that these people aren't real. I'm speaking about factual information that goes across the spectrum here. Now, one of the facts here is that if someone was into an accident or there was a drowning, you know, we should all be out there looking to make sure that this person is having some sort of justice, right? Or their family is having some sort of justice, because accidents do happen. But now, why would the media make it a point to make divisions when you got CNN talking about it this way, then you got Fox talking about it that way, and then you're picking left and you're picking right when we could just pick justice? Like, why would we have to fight against the justice system or the Department of Justice? I just want you to think about those things. It doesn't even make sense. Like, I want you to also think about just like healthcare. Why would healthcare cost so much? You mean to tell me a trip in the ambulance cost me $2,000? Don't look, something happened to me and I fell out, call my Uber. Okay, something happened to me, you call Uber for me. Don't play me like that. Don't play me like that and send me off with a $2,000 ride for no reason. Like, don't do me like that. Yes, I get it. In the ambulance is definitely a matter of time with most people, so they could be working on you, right? They could be helping you. But I'm just saying, the system profits off of our sickness and stress. The system profits off of our sickness and stress. Some of your friends right now probably profit off of your sickness and stress. So you have to be cautious, because a friend nowadays could be a device. Okay? A friend nowadays could be a device. Just ask a child. Ask a child. A child, you might take you take the phone away from a child these days, they might go crazy, taking their friend away. So I want you to think about this. Whomever has your attention has your ascension, whether that's the friend group or whether that's what you're watching and what you're listening to. Were there any questions? Were there any thoughts? Were there anything that you wanted to provide value with? Was there anything that you might have had, like as far as an opinion or a take that you just wanted to say out loud? This would be the time to do it. Raise your virtual hand. Let me know. I'll bring you up. We're getting ready to come to a close. If you don't have any questions or concerns or anything to state, don't feel any type of way. We will be closing up shortly. But the message for today is having clarity and discernment around the people and the processes in which you operate in, whether that's television, whether that's the radio or whatever it may be, or gossip or friends. Be cautious about what you're intaking, because you become part of that. I'm not saying that this case is not important, but it does make me question, why does this have to be broadcast? There's a lot of things that happen. There's a lot of cases and things that we all go through, and it's not broadcast to the world. But what makes this case so different that it has to be broadcasted to the world? It's just a question I'm asking. Like, what makes this case so unique? What makes this case so different that it has to be broadcasted to the world? I would love to have an answer. If someone knows, I would love to have an answer to that. I would love to have an answer to that. I would love to have an answer because if I can't get an answer, then I think that it's something else. Now, I did see somebody putting distraction in the chat. Yes, this could be a distraction. It could be a learning tool. It could be a lot of things, right? But the biggest thing that I want you to focus on right now is that whomever has your attention has your ascension. Now, you could be a YouTuber or you could be a streamer. In this particular case, can make you money. So then in that particular case, hey, play it, talk about it, research it, do your analysis, do whatever you want to do to dissect it, whatever, because it's bringing you the money. That's your new job or whatever, right? But if it's not helping you in any way, I want you to think about what it's actually doing to you, because everything in this world does something, because whom and whatever has your attention has your ascension. If you're spending time looking at the Nolan Wells case, but it's not serving you because you're not speaking about it, you're not making money off it, you're not doing anything from it, then all it's doing is taking up time that you could be utilizing to do something else. If you're hanging out with your friends and your family and all they're doing is just talking about let's go get drunk or let's go half on a bottle or let's go get a section, if that's what you want, then hey, that makes sense. But if you're looking to do something big, you're looking to change the trajectory of your family, you're looking to go to another direction, or at least financial prosperity, or have great connections and have an overall higher quality of life, then you spending that time with them, if you're not educating or being the leader and teaching them, then what are you really doing? What are you really doing? So I'm proud of each and every one of you, because you don't have to be here. You could be anywhere, but you know, when I'm on calls, I'm always looking at how can we elevate? When you get on calls with me or you're online with me, how can we get better? How can we hold each other accountable to push each other to another level? So all I want you to use today is discernment and the people that's around you, because whomever has your attention has your ascension. But another way to say that in a plain English is the circumstances that you are facing, or the circumstances that you currently have, is based upon the circle of people you have in your life. So if money is an issue, you need to be around people that money is not an issue for. So that way money can be for you. Just like fear. If fear is a factor for you, you want to be around people where fear is not a factor. So if you can, is there any area of growth that you need? Let me know in the chat. Is there any area of growth? We're getting ready to shut down. It's at 8:30 now. So we get ready to shut down, but I'm asking a question. Do you have any area of growth that you desire? Let me know. I will leave you all with a challenge. I'm going to leave you with a challenge. This one is going to be choosing your peer group challenge, okay? Let me share my screen. If any one of you are confused how I got here, I went to loveplus.com, loveplus.com, LUHVPLUS.com. And then I went to my development, and I'm in the free section where I scroll down and I'm going to choose your peer group challenge. So I will click that. And I will put this inside of the Zoom. And you should be able to have this. Take the challenge, because you might be in a situation where this level of life that you truly want is right at the doorstep, but you just might need to change your environment. Now, I also mentioned too, if you get seasonal depression, maybe you need to be in a different climate. Maybe you love being in a cold climate. Maybe you love being in a warm climate. Maybe you like the blend. You like all four seasons. Whatever it may be, don't wait around till you're too old to move. Don't allow your friends and family to stop you from moving. Sometimes you're just going to have to pick up and go. Yes, you are born into a certain family, but all that means is that you came from the same portal of life as these people. Doesn't mean that you have to look at your family as negative or anything. It's just whatever you make it. We are meaning making machines. We are always making meaning of things. So I get why some of us might feel certain ways, but I want you to be encouraged to fulfill your life path. Sometimes the good thing about being able to move away while you still have family around is that, yes, even if you move away and you don't like it, you can come back and still be around new family. I mean, be around the old family or friends. But don't let your dreams and your aspirations slip away because of the fear of moving on without someone. Unfortunately, everybody that we know, all of our relationships are temporary. I want you to get rich with your family because there's an innate bond that you have with family, but family is just a choice, who you are choosing to be with. All right. So with that being said, the link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. Go ahead and just see what the peer group challenge is about. You don't even have to finish it all. I typically don't encourage you not finishing it. I want you to finish whatever you start. I'm just offering an easy segue for you to do something. This is not something extra. This is something you can do with the course of your natural life. Anytime we give you challenges, it's according to your natural way of being. And we just add little tips and little things in there that you can use as far as systems go to help streamline or help you become a little bit more effective. That's all we do. We know that you want to become more effective in less time. You want to build better relationships, stronger, faster with people that you care about. We want to show you how to do that. You want to bring in multiple streams of income. We want to show you how to do that. You want to reach your higher level of operating with love. We want to show you how to do that. You want to make sound investments? We want to show you how to do that. Okay, that's really what a lot of what we have to offer is free. So go ahead and take advantage of the things that we have for free. Don't just let them sit around just because they're free. Like when we give you free t-shirts, now you're going to bed in a free t-shirt. You don't care about it. This is not that. Whatever we give you that's free, you better believe that this works. Okay, or we don't have it on our platform because we have a reputation to uphold. But the biggest why of all of that is because we're really doing this to raise the frequency of humanity. We really care about raising each other up because if we are better, then our whole entire lives get better. If you are the only millionaire in your circle, you're going to be broke because you're the one with all the money that everyone's going to ask for. Ask me how I know. I know this. I used to always think that money was the solution. I'll come around my family and friends. I'm just throwing dollars at people. I'll come visit my family over here in this town. I'll make before I leave. I give everybody money gifts. I had never had anyone do that for me, by the way. Well, when I was young, I did used to have some like one of my grandmothers came around. They give me a little money here and there, so I guess I can equate it to that. Was the difference between $20 and $500 and $1,000 and $5,000. Different between that, though. I'll tell you that. But thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Auntie, for the $20. I appreciate that. So, with that being said, I am closing out. If you are interested in joining us tomorrow for the challenge, for the leadership and accountability call during the challenge, we have 2 slots. We have a 7:30 and an 8:30. We have She Builds, She Profits at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we have See You at the Bank at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would love to just come to the mindset calls, we do have a special offer for you to come to that. If you would like to join that challenge, you would have to go on that page. We can send you that link, and you can join that challenge. They do cost. They do cost. Just the leadership calls alone is a lot less money, but still a lot of impact. Tomorrow we're doing guided meditation, and we run an exclusive thing we also want to give away for free, but you got to meet us halfway somewhere. And if you would like to join those are paid programs. The Mindset Mondays and the Saturday Mindset Reset Networking, those are free. So if money is an issue for you, we still have the free options for you to come to the free events. But if you want something that's a little bit more fast tracking, tailored to your particular case, personalized for you, then you want to pay for it. If you are also looking to get any one-on-ones with us, we do have some one-on-ones available. Let me just share my screen and then I'll close out with some music. But if you do want to have some one-on-ones with us, always remember, you go to our site, loveplus.com. It's inside of the My Director suite. Once you go to the My Director suite, you can look in here as a plethora of calls that you can join. If you need a system, maybe you need a CRM or maybe you need a client acquisition system where you can get new clients, we have this for you. If you want to be part of the growth system, you can book a call. If you want to learn how to present like a pro and we help you with your presentation and we help you become that person that can articulate and execute and give direction and have a presentation that's surely to pay you back, then you can book that. And once again, you can go down the list. Okay, you can go down the list. We have one-on-one strategy calls. Yes, we give you tons of value. So if you see prices and you're like, oh man, that might be too much. If you have your crew coins, you can get discounts and some of these things. But once again, we're here to give you tremendous amount of value. So if you're paying $100 for a call, you better believe you'll be able to make more than $100 off of that call. Okay. If you don't want to do it with me and you want to do it with some of the team, you can go in here and book one-on-one calls with some of the team. It doesn't have to be about me. If you need credit repair or you need funding, you need consultation and business acquisition, you can go ahead and book these one-on-one calls here and you can get a lot from these calls. Okay. And I'm also willing to work with you all. Like if you have a custom plan that you want to be created, then hey, let us know. And we'll tailor something towards your unique situation. So this is the My Director suite. So for one-on-one help, this is what you would use for one-on-one help. Okay. With that being said, I don't see any hands up. I don't see any questions. So I think we're all good to go. Snap it up, clap it up for yourself for being here. You are the best of the best, the top of the top, the cream of the crop. Believe that. If anyone else tells you different, they don't know what they're talking about. Stand on business. Believe it. You are amazing. Life is short, ladies and gentlemen. So go play all out. Play full out. Go be at your highest capacity. Love harder. Take risks. Just be you because there's only one of you. You are one of one. Believe that. Let's continue to go. Put the music on for me and let's go out of here with a bang.
Hey. Stepping in the lab, this brainwave shift. Turn pain into game, every loss uplift. City on my back, but my posture rich. Used to dream in the dark, now the switch they lit. No runs fire when I say my name. Rewire, otherwise I don't play that same. Old code in my head, had to break that chain. Now the pathway paved with the wins I claim. Yeah, power, money, respect, I evolve with it. New pathways in my head, watch me solve with it. Change, transform, I was built to collect. More life, more growth, that's the real asset. Yeah, power, money, respect, put it all on deck. New pathways when I move, every thought direct. Change, transform, I was born to connect. More life, more growth, that's the real asset. Pocket full of plans, I don't chase loose change. Every dollar just data, I expand my range. Stack base, stack skills, then the paper grows. I invest in the mind, that's how favor flows. Had to silence every doubt, that's a loud old voice. Now I edit my beliefs like a ground up choice. Turn fear into fuel, turn stress into steps. Every setback, sketching out the stairs I rep. Yeah, I pivot when the path look blocked off. If the road ain't there, then I blast off. From the gutter in my thoughts to a glass loft. Had the bed on my brain, that's a jackpot. Yeah, yeah. Power, money, respect, I evolve with it. New pathways in my head, watch me solve with it. Change, transform, I was built to collect. More life, more growth, that's the real asset. Yeah. Power, money, respect, put it all on deck. New pathways when I move, every thought direct. Change, transform, I was born to connect. More life, more growth, that's the real asset. More growth, that's the real asset.
All right, family, I'll see y'all later. Peace, love, and beautiful energy. Go out there and be amazing.